Hi everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today's video, I wanted to go ahead and just pick some cards to see what messages your angels, your spirit guides, your higher self, your infinite intelligence, whatever you believe in, have for you. Okay, I will start off by using the Moonology deck, one of my most favorite decks of all time. So yeah, let's see what's going on. It's been a while since I've actually filmed a video. Like a video, okay, I've been filming a lot of reels and TikToks, but yeah, sorry if I'm a little bit rusty, but I do want to get back into it because I think it's so much fun to do. And yeah, let's see what the cards have to say. This isn't necessarily romantic. I mean, if there are messages about that, I will relay them for sure. But yeah, the first card we have here is hold your vision. Okay, like whatever vision you have for yourself, for the type of lifestyle you're trying to live, hold that. And also don't care what anyone else thinks of you, what your goals are. If you say your goals out loud and maybe you don't get support, or just people don't understand it, or even ridicule, which I haven't really seen that much of. There are some people who maybe aren't necessarily supportive, but at least in my experience, I've never had anyone that told me, oh, you can't do this, and I would never say that to anyone else. And sometimes when I hear that happening, I'm like, are people okay? Who says that? That's so mean. But yeah, we have your hold your vision. I'm also getting the message that authenticity is the highest frequency. Okay, so be your authentic self. Even if you think this is too cringe, whatever, it doesn't matter. Just post it, because you have no idea who you're helping. And think about all the philosophers, all the people in history. They refused to post things because it was too cringe. Oh, what would my friends think of me? Oh, I'm gonna come off as neurodivergent, or whatever. I'm gonna come off as too feminine or too masculine, whatever it may be, right? Think about just the amount of problems there might be. Okay, I'm not saying that's the case, but a lot of these philosophers, a lot of these people that post on YouTube, I am forever grateful for them, because if they hadn't posted about it, if they hadn't been raw, authentic, vulnerable, because of fear of being cringe, I genuinely do think the world would be in an even worse place. So whatever is on your mind, just say it. It's okay, as long as you're not hurting anyone. It's okay to speak your truth, because here's the thing. When you speak your truth, when you are authentic about the things that you like, the things that you're into, you will attract people that also resonate with that. Okay, and I'll just tell you, some of the best friends that I've made in New York City were friends I made that found me through my YouTube channel and or my TikTok. And that's because I decided to come on here and post things that I felt needed to be talked about. And there's some people who won't get it, but then they'll still want to be friends with you, and maybe you can talk about other things. That's fine too. Sometimes it's okay to I have friends who aren't necessarily into the same things as me, and I used to kind of think, I'm what's the point of being friends with people who aren't into the stuff? But then there's so many other things we relate on, and this is just something that I like doing, and they may not like it, but that's totally fine. They may not resonate with it. They may not be at that place in their life where this kind of stuff speaks to them, right? There's some people who are religious, and maybe I don't understand what they're saying, but it's I still respect it. I'm just okay, I respect you having faith in something, even if it's not necessarily something I believe in, right? But I still respect them for speaking up. I know that may be an unpopular opinion, but I actually don't get annoyed when people speak up about the things that they're into, the people that they pray to, or whoever, because I think that's great, putting your faith in something or someone, or some ideology or philosophy, whatever. I really respect that. So yeah, that's just something I wanted to say. Hold your vision, speak your truth. Don't be afraid to be your authentic self. Again, the people who are not in alignment with you might fall away, and honestly, that's okay. That is okay, because that clears up space for the people who resonate with you. And for me, spirituality is something that I'm always going to be for the rest of my life. Or does that make sense? Can you be spirituality? I mean, spirituality is something that I will always engage in and study. I mean, hopefully, because I love this stuff. I don't just do it to manifest things, Sometimes I do, but like also we're manifesting all the time. But sometimes it's even manifesting states of mind, manifesting happiness. But something that I have realized, for me is that I like deep conversations. I like thinking about things on a deeper level. Like, I pretty much have everything that I could ever want in my life right now. Like, literally every aspect of my life is thriving. That's not just an affirmation. It is true, because I've worked on myself so deeply and immensely. And this is something I want to keep doing so I can sustain this abundance. And it's something that's me. And, some people, like, they'll just do things, they'll just manifest to get that one thing, and maybe they'll keep it for the rest of their life. But I feel like manifestation, spirituality, affirming, whatever, it helps strengthen your mind, strengthen your brain, because sometimes things can happen to you that I don't know why I'm making these hand movements, but yeah, things can happen that are really unpredictable. And that's happened in my life, okay, so many times, and it's because I continue to show up for myself, do readings for myself, journal, script, affirm, that these things didn't affect me as much. And I really thought back to it. I'm like, oh, okay, honestly, if I hadn't worked on this stuff or continued to work on, myself, my mindset, personal development, then this thing that came to me might be very triggering, like a lot more triggering than if I hadn't worked on myself. And there are people who might be haters. There might be people who hate on like personal development, this, that, because they don't understand, it doesn't resonate with them, and I kind of understand that, because there's also some people who talk about certain religions, certain philosophies that I don't necessarily resonate with, but I still respect it. And there's nothing wrong in reading personal development books. There's nothing wrong in wanting to better yourself, whatever way that is. And if someone bashes you for it, honestly, just ignore them, pay them no attention, pay them no mind. I would, back in the day, I would like argue in the comments. I'd be like, oh, you're wrong for this, And then I realized, like, okay, if my personal development's really paying off, then I would understand that these people, are just not in alignment with me, that this is just not something that, they resonate with or need in their life or ever needed in their life, because, that's just not in their path, And I like took no offense. I'm like, okay, personal development's not for you, great. Me personally, I wouldn't that out loud, like let's say resonate with someone else's idea or philosophy. I wouldn't say that out loud, like, oh, I don't agree with you, I think it's stupid. Like, I think people that do that, maybe they do need personal development, maybe they do need some sort of like help in life. But yeah, just be yourself, do whatever you want to do, post about whatever you want to post, talk about whatever you want to talk about. And again, the people that don't understand will fall off, okay? Honestly, I'm even just gonna say, like, if you have certain political views, ideologies, right, I think it's okay to post it. And yeah, there might be some people who just don't understand, because they'll never be in your shoe. That's your truth. And every time you speak, you're in your throat chakra. Okay? And this is just one ideology. I'm not saying this is necessarily true, but at least for me, I do think there is some sort of correlation between autoimmune diseases and psychology and like spirituality, right? I do think that the more I started to speak my truth, and this is just me, okay, I would get sick a lot. I would get like strep throat like every other year, and that's when I kind of like suppressed my voice. Like, I wouldn't like speak up as much, or I was scared what people would think of me, what they would say, okay. And I just I randomly came across this girl's video on TikTok where she talked about linking autoimmune diseases or like actual like medical conditions to something psychological. And again, that may not resonate with anyone, like everyone, and like some people might be like, oh, that's not like real science, I only believe in science, and things like that. I believe in science too, but I do think there's a lot that science hasn't completely discovered. And I also think people's brains and psychology, their neural pathways are all very different. We all function in different ways. So it's like, yeah, those people might not resonate with it, but if that's your truth, then stick to it. But I'll just say, the more I started speaking up for myself, speaking my truth, and doing it unapologetically, because sometimes I'll like post things and delete them, honestly, the less sick I got. And maybe this was placebo, I don't know, but I do feel like speaking up for yourself, especially if you're a woman. I just want to say that if you are a woman, okay, don't be afraid to speak up, because we have been suppressed for centuries. Our voices have been suppressed, okay? Even a lot of, I don't want to turn this into like a whole like gender war thing, no, but like a lot of men actually, like Albert Einstein, for example, some of the things they came up with, it was inspired by their, woman, female, whatever counterpart, right? And also I just want to say that, like, when I use the term female, like, I'm saying that because, like, sometimes, like, women is, like, over the age of 18 and girl is under the age of 18, right? So, like, when I use that, I'm not using it in a derogatory term. I think I've also seen some discourse about using the term females, and sometimes it is used in a weird way, but it's also just used to describe biology. So forgive me if I offend anyone. Obviously, I'm not using it in an offensive way, but I do just want to say that, yeah, like, sometimes, women would come up with these genius inventions, these genius thoughts, these genius ideologies, but they weren't allowed to speak up. So if you are a woman, really just anyone, okay, like, this applies to anyone, but, like, don't afraid to speak up. It's okay. I know, like, sometimes, in spirituality, law of assumption, manifestation, some people will be like, oh, like, just don't share your problems, just don't share anything. It's up to you, honestly. Like, sometimes there are things I needed to get off my chest. Sometimes I'll, like, identify the problem, like, okay, this is happening, and then I'll come up with a solution. And that's different than just complaining about the same thing again and again. But, just do whatever feels right for you. That's the best advice that I can give you, okay? And just take whatever resonates and leave what doesn't, okay? But the one thing I will say is, like, save your time, be conservative with your time and energy, and don't spend your time, like, worrying too much about people. This is what they think of me, this is what they're doing, arguing with them in the comments and things like that. I don't think that's at least for me, okay? Like, I used to do that, and I'm like, wow, I wasted so much time and energy. It's almost like I was trying to prove this to myself. I needed confirmation for myself. It's not like I was even trying to convince these people, because I don't, like, I'm not trying to sound mean, but I don't really care what people believe in. It's okay if they don't believe in, like, the things that I believe in. It's okay if they believe in something completely different. I'm not someone who will ever try to, like, convert someone into, like, what I'm doing. I just share things, and if it resonates, it resonates. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And even for me, like, I've had some people from, like, certain religions, they'll, like, tell me about, like, the things they study, and, like, I didn't feel like they were doing it in a way where they were trying to, like, recruit me into their cult or anything, but I respected that. I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. Like, thank you for sharing that. Maybe they thought, like, okay, I would join them. And there's nothing wrong in just, like, talking about yourself, as long as you're not, like, forcibly, like, you're making people, like, like, say, like, hey, I believe in this and you have to believe in this, you're good. But don't feel bad for talking about the things that you're into. It's okay to express yourself, okay? The next card we have here is a new romantic cycle begins. Okay, new moon in Libra. I love this. Okay, so I know I literally said in the beginning, I'm not going to talk about romance, but I mean, this came up. So yeah, for a lot of you, I am seeing that a new romantic cycle might, begin. And this person that you are manifesting into your life, or maybe they're already in your life, based off, like, what I was talking about the hold your vision, speak your truth card, I feel like you're going to be able to say whatever you want to this person. You're going to be able to freely speak your mind. You're not going to hold back. Obviously in a positive way, right? Like, I'm not saying, like, oh, be angry at this person. I'm not saying that, but, like, your ideologies, your philosophies, even if this person doesn't understand, or if it's, like, kind of out of left field for them or whatever, or, like, maybe they just didn't grow up with that ideology, I feel like this person's really going to be appreciating your mind. They're going to be appreciating everything that you have done to become the person that you are today, okay? So, yeah, you and this person, you're going to balance each out. I'm seeing, like, planetary energies balancing each other out. I'm really seeing here that Libra is associated with Venus. Okay, so you're going to be blessed by the planet of Venus. I'm seeing, like, love, beauty, abundance. It's all going to flourish in your life. Okay, so that is a message here. I'm seeing here that it's about time where you can truly be your authentic self, in front of people, and, like, they're just not going to judge you. Like, this person that you're manifesting, or maybe it's someone you're already with, it's like you won't even have to say things, and they'll just understand you. They'll be like, hey, are you good? Are you okay? This is someone who's really going to understand your soul, okay? This is someone who's really going to, like, appreciate your art, everything that you've done. Sorry about that. My dress, yeah. They're going to appreciate everything about you. I feel like it's just going to be easygoing. Like, I feel like I don't even have to say that much. Like, with you and this person, okay, you're also not gonna, like, apologize to this person too much. For a lot of you, I'm seeing that, like, oh, maybe you apologize a lot, or maybe you're just, like, you kind of hold back a little bit. Like, I don't know if I should say this. Maybe you've kind of had to do that with people in the past because you thought they would judge you or whatever. Like, maybe you thought, oh, they think you were, like, cringe. You won't have to do that. If anything, like, it's those people that, think they're, like, cringe that are, like, really changing life. And, it's the people who judge people for being cringe that are doing nothing and that are not enhancing anyone's lives. So, forget the haters, okay? Honestly, like, law of assumption, manifestation. You may even, like, manifest, like, a reality where there are no haters, there are no, like, critics. People will, like, really appreciate everything you do, So, yeah, do whatever you want to do unapologetically because you have no idea who it may be helping. I really feel like this new romantic connection that you're manifesting, or for a lot of you could be someone coming back into your life. I just feel like it's going to be very like easygoing, like smooth. Someone's really going to appreciate your brain and everything that you are, everything that you stand for. They're going to appreciate like everything down to like the core of your being, down to like, you know, every single like cell of your being. And a lot of people, like, I don't know that, you know, if you know this or not, but if you're someone who likes expressing themselves, maybe you have a business, an online business, or and in real life business, a lot of people really appreciate everything you're doing. Like sometimes, you know, people are too scared to like, you know, like come up to you and say things. I know I've done that sometimes. Like, you know, I would really resonate with someone, but I was too scared to like go up to them and tell them, hey, your work is changing my life. But like now I've kind of like changed that. Like if I do feel like someone's like changing my life or whatever, or they're motivating me in some way, like I do go up to them and I do tell them like, hey, thank you so much for everything that you've done. So yeah, expect that to happen. I feel like appreciation, I feel like people are going to be expressing their appreciation towards you, and this kind of manifesting is going to be very like good and healthy, and something that is going to be like, you're gonna understand like why you had to go through everything you had to go through, all the heartbreak, the pain, the growth, the development, and you're gonna be like, thank you so much, universe. Okay, so never ever ever, you know, stop working on yourself. Okay, this inner growth, inner work, it's a great thing, and keep doing it, and do it for yourself. Again, I think a lot of people, like, you know, they'll like cringe at manifestation or something because they think it's like some like, oh, like I was doing this to manifest a guy or an SP and it didn't work out, and now like, you know, I'm just scared. Like, first of all, we're always manifesting all the time, and it's like, just because it didn't work out in the past, you know, that was just like an old version of you, and technically there's no like failing in manifestation. You have never failed in manifestation. But I do get like why psychologically some people may associate that with failure, and like maybe they're just like, okay, I need to take a break from this stuff. It's okay to take a break, of course, but just know that you have the ability to change things at any given moment. And it's, if you feel like you didn't get something in the past, it's not that you didn't get it, it's that you just like didn't continue with it, or like you shifted into a completely different timeline. But there's no such thing as failing in manifestation. So that's just something else that's coming up here. Let's talk about let's go and pick some more cards. A time to give rather than take. This is really interesting because I feel like most people that watch this channel or watch content like this, you are givers. I know that, you know, a lot of you are used to giving. So maybe it could be it's a time for you to receive rather than like, you know, give. Or maybe like it's been a while since you've like done something to help someone out or help someone in your community. So that's okay. Like, you know, like whatever you feel like doing, it's up to you. I feel like this card is also just about balance, a balance of give and take, okay? And it's also okay, and like, you know, like I feel like a lot of you care about meaningful things in life, and it's okay to talk about that. Like I know there's some people who like, you know, might get like, maybe they don't understand it, or a lot of the times people are just projecting. It's like if you're doing something with your life, you're doing something that's helping you, helping the community, you know, some people may not understand that. They'll be like, what is this? Like, you know, again, like when you act like, you know, your highest self, your authentic self, you will attract people that are in alignment with that way of being, okay? So yeah, I'm definitely seeing here that also like this new person that's coming into your life, it's going to be an equal give and take. I'm definitely seeing here that like literally every aspect of your life is just going to like exponentially get better, okay? And I feel like everything you're doing is inspired action that's going to help you get to where you want to be. Okay, so that's also a really positive thing, a really positive sign. Okay, never ever again. I know I keep saying this, but don't dim your light for other people. Maybe there's some people who need to do a little bit more work in a certain aspect of their life than other people. Right? Like they just manifest money easily. Like that's honestly me. I don't have to try too hard to manifest money. The other day I just found like $117 on the ground, okay? But then there's some people who have to like work their butt off, you know, to do that. And that's because, you know, they have a different assumption or different like self-concept around money, different perception around money, right? So whatever you're doing, it's okay. And like, you know, one thing is like you don't have to feel jealous of those people. I'm seeing like maybe you may be discouraged because okay, a lot of these people are getting all these like great things in life, and like what's happening to me, a lot of people are getting married, a lot of people are getting engaged, they're getting a house, they're getting like jobs, they're escalating their careers, whatever, right? Like but see everyone and everything else as inspiration. Okay, it could be that those people honestly, like, you know, they had a good self-concept when it came to whatever it is that they manifested. Or for some of you that believe in karma, right, this is just one example. Maybe like, you know, they had really good karma in a past life, or, you know, there's some sort of karmic, you know, balance that they've come into that they easily, you know, manifested. And that can be you too. Okay, like that's why I don't talk about karma too much on this channel, because I do think that like it's manifestation of your mind. It's just one philosophy, right? Like the evil eye, it's one philosophy. You either believe in it or you don't, or you kind of believe in it or you kind of don't believe in it, whatever, right? But just make everything work for you. See people as inspiration, see people as a motivation, see people as like, oh, like, you know, this person is showing me something about myself. Like it's, you know, sometimes it's cool that your friends may achieve certain milestones ahead of you, so you know what that's like. Like I have this friend, like she pretty much got like everything before me, like her job, her partner, things like that, and I got to see and grow and learn from her, like, oh, this is how that looks like, and it was great. Honestly, sometimes I think like just the way that I grew up, I was always scared to be the first one to try something. I'd always kind of like need to see examples. That's just kind of how I operate. And you know, like just for me, like I kind of like having like a breakdown of like, okay, this is what it's gonna look like, this is what it may look like, you know. And yeah, even my channel, I started this channel because I saw other people doing that and I got inspired. Okay, so that's also something I want to say, like just, you know, see other people as inspiration, see everything as just helping you grow as a person. And then, you know, for some of you, like, you never know who else you could be inspiring. So like for me, I know I got so inspired by these other people posting about these things that I was into, that I started doing that. And I've had like multiple people tell me like, oh, thank you so much for like posting. Some of my best friends I made from like just posting the things that I was into, which at the time I posted, I'm pretty sure I thought I was being cringe, but I'm still friends with these people like years later. So, you know, yeah. Sorry, I like giving like anecdotes during my readings. Like I hope it doesn't come across as like selfish. I think like for me, whenever people talk about things, it's like I need to kind of talk about my own life to kind of like relate to them. So that's just the way that I like, you know, do things. Okay, but I really do hope that this reading helps someone. Okay, I do want to let you know that I offer in-depth tarot readings as well as manifestation coaching. So if you're interested in any of these services, check out the description box below where you'll find my website and sign for the services through my website. And yeah, thank you so much.